Well, Coach, how was the first day out there today?
Pretty much typical first day. There was some mistakes and all that kind of good stuff. Not as smooth as you want to be, but it was a good day. It was a typical first day.
A lot of new faces and new numbers out there. Does it take the coaches a little bit of time to adapt?
Yeah, we're real anal about knowing everybody's name and knowing everybody, from walk-ons to All-Americans. It doesn't matter to us. So I'll be honest, that's one of the reasons I have that clipboard out there. If you always go to my very back page, I have the roster of every player and every name just to get brushed up every day. So yeah, that's always. And then we take all our single-digit guys off. So that's the first time I've seen them in their old high school numbers or whatever it might be again. So yeah, today's always. No matter how much you prepare and how many years you do this, there's always still that first time, which is why I like to do it before spring break as well, just so we can get it all cleaned up. So when we come back from spring break, we'll be a whole lot more well-oiled.
Jeff, what's the deal with Frank Harris? Didn't see him out there working today.
Yeah, just taking care of him, making sure that he's going to be ready. He's been playing a lot of ball. And, a lot of guys. There's about probably 8 or 9 guys out there that weren't going today just because we're trying to take care of them.
I would expect that he would be out there kind of at least directing guys. Is he going to be around for different parts of the spring, or what's the plan?
He was out there.
Okay.
He was out there. Yeah, he was there today.
Gotcha.
He's just not participating right now.
Rashad Wisdom is kind of in a similar role. It seems like he's kind of moving around a little bit, but not really fully participating in drills. What can he get out of this time?
Same. We're just their leadership and being around the guys and mental reps. Rashad's further along just because he took care of his injury, game 4, where Frank's stuff was all year. And so Frank had to take care of his injury after the season. Frank played in the bowl game injured, and so his procedure was done after the season. So kid's just tough. He doesn't tell anybody, and which is why we couldn't run him very much in the bowl. It's just kid was injured, and we don't like to say those kind of things before the game because you don't want the other team to know either. But so Rashad's procedure was done game 4. Frank's was done after the bowl. So therefore, Frank's going to take a little more time to get back up to speed compared to Rashad.
You told us the other day you kind of want to see a lot of those guys out there coaching. Anybody who did that particularly well, maybe help some of the younger guys along?
Oh, yeah. Zachary Franklin should be a coach. He's great at it. JT, Josh, Cephas, all those guys were coaching. The D-line, a lot of those guys are out right now. Those guys are over there really doing a good job as well. So, yeah, we've got too many of that, but I've tried to calm everybody down. This is a unique time in history because you're never going to have this many 4-year starters again due to COVID, due to the medicals. Just these guys have played a lot of ball. And I bet you 4 of our group texts today to Nick Turner, I was like, just make sure they're ready by August. Because we've got to get a lot of these 17 new guys that are on campus. They don't know come here from Sikkim. So we got to get those guys caught up. I want JT to progress and Cephas to progress, Zachary. Really proud of Kavorian. He had a procedure and he's already back. Brandon Madison probably could have pushed through. We're just trying to be smart with a lot of those guys. Mackay was right back out there. Meach was back out there. And those are guys that had procedures earlier in the year. So the guys that got hurt when we were all, stressed out during the season, they're doing better than the guys that kind of played through the season and had to have procedures done after the season.
How did your, even without Frank kind of going, you still have a lot of quarterbacks on the roster this spring. What was your day one kind of knee-jerk impression of those guys?
Kind of what you would expect. Eddie Lee looked really good because he knows the offense so well, and Diego looked really good today because he knows the offense so well. Where Owen and Jackson and Brandon, it was their first day out there, right? So about what I expected, that Eddie Lee and Diego would start in the lead because they know the offense the best.
A few new running backs too on the roster. Those guys look like they got some talent.
Yeah, that's a position we're really excited about as well, as we are at quarterback. But the running back position is a little bit easier to get out there and get going. Now, we do so much with our running backs as far as movements, that frustrated them. Just all the places they have to line up and move around and motion and shift and start over here and end up over there. But yeah, really proud of Robert. I mean, his first time out there. Brandon Hyde just got out of high school, and then Rocco, who's played significant football at Vanderbilt, but it's still different. And then got Kadrick. He's back from his ACL from last year, where he got to play at the very end just a little bit. So he's back. And then we also have DeAnthony's at least up and moving. He wasn't out there practicing, but we hope to get him back from injuries sometime during the spring ball.
Of the new guys, who did you like on the first day?
I just haven't seen the video at all. We just came off the field. David Amador had a really good catch. Willie was looking good until he gimped up his hamstring. Tyke got a real big day. Tyke had some really nice plays out there. I was on the offensive field today more than I was the defensive field, so I haven't had a chance to watch the defense yet. And there was no pads. So we two-stepped everything, which last year to start off spring ball, I brought up a player. I wish I could remember who it was, and I actually two-stepped with him. So we didn't do that this year, but our two-step is I just told the defense it's the worst part of the year for me is when there's no pads, first day back, and you don't want anybody hitting each other, and you're out there, that whistle's so quick. So it's hard to tell about the defense. I know we're trying to replace Trevor. We're trying to replace Dadrian. Yeah, Dadrian with Danye, we hope, or Owen, or whoever those guys are. And then at free, we're trying to replace Cliff. And the big one, we got to replace that corner. That was a big loss too. Those are 4 really good football players. McDougal will be hard to replace in the interior, but we've got a lot of defensive linemen. But someone's got to step up and take the Sam spot, the Mike spot, and that free safety spot.
The offensive line shuffle was a conversation all last year. Was it nice to just have all those guys back out there again today?
It was. We were deep, and we got guys in the 3s that are mad. They think they should be in the 1s, and they darn near should be. So we're really deep there and feel really good about it. But our D-line is now devastated over there from injury from they all played last year, and our O-line is deep as can be because they all were injured. Now they're back, plus the guys we brought in, plus the young guys we played. So they got the triple whammy going. So yeah, we're very deep at O-line.
How much do you kind of work on some flexibility there? It seems like some shuffling guys with different units in between guard and tackle.
We are. We're going to stretch that. We're going to make sure Walker Beatty can play every spot if we can, even snap it. Ernesto can play every spot right now. We'd like to get that going with Mackay. We want to get him where he can move in all the spots. So your older veteran guys, you'd like to get them multiple positions for just in case down the road, if they have the body type where they can.
You ran down a lot of the injuries for us, but I don't think we talked about Trey Moore. What's his status?
He's just a bone bruise. So whenever you have that ankle, whatever that thing's called, boot,
yeah,
it looks way worse than what it is. So it's just being smart with him. It's really important for those wheels that we find out, who is that? I mean, who else is out there with Trey? I mean, who's going to be that other person? So it's going to be, we moved Jamori back out there, Nana's out there, and Caleb's out there. So it's very important we find that. Thank you.
All right, Jeff, appreciate it.
Have a great day.